It's time for Fort Worth Musical Moments. Join us now as Steve Markward takes a look at the music and the artists who made the city's vibrant musical legacy what it is today. Well, here we are, Fort Worth Musical Moments on a Thursday night. Creatures of the night we are this week here. A little bit different, but I hope everybody tunes in here. We got a couple platforms we got to share it to that Facebook isn't allowing it to. So if you see me fumbling around a bit here, we are trying to get it to those pages here. So stand by with those. In the meantime, I'll let Steve introduce our guests here, and we're going to have a fabulous talk about the future of Western swing tonight.
Yeah, we thought we would have fun with this genre of music. It's today it's treated kind of as a fringe genre, if I may, but we feel a lot stronger about this music than that because it's such a fun and as my brother would say, infectious type of music. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about Western swing, and we thought we would bring in the kind of the young stars of Clarksville Creative Sound, young, certainly compared to Brent, to you and I, and Kurt for sure.
Not debatable.
And we want our viewers to know, those that are watching and those that see this, whether it's live or whether you catch it later, is that this music and traditional country music and country music as a whole is in real country music, I'll say with a capital R, is in good hands with these folks. I mean, we've got the most talented young people that we could ever imagine, and we're so fortunate to have them on the Clarksville Creative Sound label. So I will do an introduction. Of course, there's Brent. If I'm going from kind of clockwise here, Brent Adams.
Here's a story.
And then the McKettys, Austin McKetty and Mackenzie McKetty, and they're from McLeod, Oklahoma, and you guys are some of the hardest working, most frequently working artists out there with the McKetty family band. You guys are playing somewhere almost all the time, if not with your family, but with other folks like Brady Honeycutt and those guys.
Yep.
And Mackenzie is about to embark upon her quest for Miss Oklahoma, which is huge.
Yes. Thank you.
We're extremely proud of you, Mackenzie, no matter what happens, but we believe you've got a stellar chance at taking the crown home, but you're Miss Oklahoma in our eyes anyway.
Thank you. Yes, I'm very excited.
Yeah, and then down below me is from Canada. From your hometown is specifically what?
Toronto.
It's Toronto, Canada. Jaden Riley, Jaden is someone that's been with Clarksville Creative Sound and Kurt Ryle for, gosh, since you were 7 years old, right? She's not that tall. And so Jaden is, a social media star with millions and millions and millions of views out there, or already very well known, and one of the greatest pure voices that I've ever heard, and we're proud to have you on here, Jaden. And
thank you for having me.
We want to see how well known Western swing is in Canada. So we're going to give you a pop quiz here, and then last but not least, this trio sitting here in the Clarksville Creative Sound studio is Braden Ryle in the white T-shirt. Thanks for getting dressed up, Braden.
You're welcome, Steve.
And Evie Mae from Clarksville, Tennessee. Now you moved to Clarksville, so that's dedication. That's a great family that picks up and moves to further your career in music, and we're grateful for that because you've got a great career ahead of you, and we're just so proud to be a part of that. And then the glue that holds this whole thing together, the guy that puts out the best music in the world and more of it than anybody, is Kurt Ryle, who happens to be my friend, good friend and partner. And so anyway, did I do okay on the introductions?
That was great.
Good. Let's get to the fun stuff.
You bought me some time to get my affairs in order here. We are ready to rock and roll here. I thought we'd start out.
Affairs we don't want to know about it.
We're not going there. So you know what we want to do is talk about the history of Western swing and how it's led to these young folks here and how they feel about this genre and how we move this thing forward to the next generation. And I know we've got a lot of people on here tonight, so thank you to everybody who's tuning in, and we'll acknowledge more of them later. But that just shows me that there's a lot of interest here in this. And so what we wanted to do tonight to kick things off, you know, we've talked about this film a number of times here on the program, but the birth and history of Western swing, the great film produced by Steve's brother, Mike Markworth. We've got about a 3-minute intro to that film, which I think really encapsulates the whole really the whole vibe of this thing here. So I wanted to share this with everybody, and it's kind of a good peg to hang your hat on here as we start this discussion. Take a look.
Nothing made Bob mad. Nothing made Bob madder than if you'd call his music hillbilly music.
Because Western swing is jazz.
It gave rise to rockabilly and to rock and roll.
It gets inside your soul, your heart.
It brings tears to many people's eyes when they hear it.
Most exciting time in my life to find Western swing music.
They might not know exactly what they're hearing, but they know they like it.
Its intention was to make people feel like dancing. If the people in the clubs weren't dancing, that means they didn't like you.
Western swing defies categorization, but we know what it isn't. It most emphatically is not country music, but it has always impacted country music. It isn't quite jazz either, but it swings and improvises just as well as the famous big bands of the 1930s and 40s. So what is Western swing? Western swing is like America itself, because you hear America in Western swing. It was like a giant melting pot, a gumbo of cultures, ethnicities, styles, and rhythms working together to be stronger, indomitable, and mostly infectious. From its very beginning, Western swing was like a ravenous animal, devouring everything in its path. It absorbed anything and everything with a joyful exuberance that thrilled the musicians as much as the audience. If you close your eyes and listen closely, you can hear the old reels and jigs of American frontier fiddles, the improvisation of New Orleans jazz and Dixieland, the soulful blues of the South, the pa-pa beat of a Bohemian polka band, the sweet violins of Bavarian waltzes, the fat sounds of big band swing, and the accordion, horns, and guitars of Mexican mariachi. There's an unbridled freedom when music has no rules, and Western swing broke all of them. Western swing is free. It's composed from the heart and on the spot by musicians on their instruments. The birth of this joyous music developed at a time when America was in the depths of the Great Depression. And at the time, innovators like Bob Wills and Milton Brown didn't realize they were inventing a whole new genre of American music. They were just trying to provide their audience with an escape, if only for hours, from the harsh realities of daily life. They would use any instrument, sound, beat, rhythm, create or steal any hot lick from anyone or from any genre to create this exciting new sound. They were trying to lift the people's spirits, but mostly, they were trying to make people dance. And dance they did. This is the story of the birth and history of Western swing.
Powerful.
Yeah, and that film, you know, Kurt's seen it. Some of y'all have seen it. I don't know who's seen that film. Yeah, it's. I'll put that up against any like Ken Burns documentary. My brother did a fantastic job. I was fortunate enough to be able to help kind of as an advisor, mainly on documentary styles because I'm a huge documentary film fan. I love Ken Burns documentaries and know what draws me in and what keeps my interest. And so, you know, I was like to say that some of my suggestions might have been taken and incorporated in there, but we had a lot of great people. You can see right there, we spent a whole afternoon with Vince Gill talking to him. We had the whole Ryman Auditorium, Old Ryman, to ourselves, and that was a neat moment. There's all kinds of other people in there, Junior Brown and Michael Martin Murphy and all those guys, and then all the big players in Western Swing like Jody Nix and Jason Roberts and Billy Mata and on and on and on. So that film is one of the things that it's kind of the nucleus of what we're trying to do now, and around that film, we're trying to bring new interest, new fans to a music that certainly deserves it because it's so much fun and, like the video said, so joyous and infectious. It gets in your soul. It really does.
And Steve, gauging by the responses here, I think it's so infectious that our guests here are having trouble containing their exuberance.
I think so.
Big audience here, guys. There's a lot of people out there.
Is there a lot of people? I can't see from my feed.
I can see. We definitely have quite a few people here, and it's a lot of Western Swing fans for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, Kurt, I'll throw this to you since you're here. What is it about this musically that stands out to you that really holds up to the test of time?
Well, Western Swing. One time, Mike, Steve's brother, when he was doing this film, when he was still making it, he wanted someone to give him a definition of what the difference in Western Swing and just any other style of music is. And the best way I knew to put it was, Western Swing is not pentatonic like country. Country is a pentatonic. It's like, it's all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and where Western Swing is more flats and sharps. It has it's more jazz oriented for the people. Mackenzie knows what I'm talking about because only musicians really understand this. But Western Swing has more flats, sharps, and that sort of thing, and less just plain simple notes. I'm trying to stay on layman's terms here, but it's a very interesting style of music, and it's not simple. It's very difficult to play. And you have to have grown up playing this stuff if you want to be good at it. You can't just one day go, I think I'll play Western Swing. It just doesn't work that way. It's just a totally different style, but really good.
I'm right now working with a new band. We've had 2 rehearsals, and these guys are used to playing more of the honky tonk stuff. They're accomplished players, but they're realizing, how, especially when you're talking about learning 15 original songs that they've never heard. We're zeroing in on those, and it's been a challenge to pull all that together. But they're also having the time of their life. They're having a lot of fun and being pushed musically for the first time in ages. A lot of them, and so they're really taking the challenge now to heart. And that's what's cool. And that's one of the things that I realized, Kirk, when I met you and we were writing songs together up in the Smoky Mountains, and you pulled the guitar out when we started trying to come up with melodies after we got the lyrics down, and I could see how you were working that up and down the neck of the guitar, playing those jazz chords. I thought, okay, this is the real deal here. This is going to be great. And I remember what you told me, because I told you, I said, now tell me about your musicians that you bring in, because I had never recorded in a studio with session musicians and all that, and that was on my bucket list. And little did I know that I was about to embark upon a session where the greatest session players out there are at our disposal. And what you told me is, you said, look, I can get a lot of players from Nashville and Texas and everywhere else to do traditional country and shuffle and honky tonk. They said, but when you're talking Western Swing, the playing field narrows dramatic.
Yes, it does. And to be honest with you, when I first came to Nashville, we had 2 or 3 guys here who were great Western Swing guitar players. And Leon Rhodes is the first one that comes to mind. I think maybe the greatest guitarist of all time, in my opinion, was Leon Rhodes. And of course, we lost him about 4 or 5 years ago. But when Steve came and wanted to do his Western Swing album, I picked up the phone and started calling people to find out who could play Western Swing guitar, and I couldn't find a single person who felt comfortable doing it. So I just ended up doing it myself, and it's kind of hard to produce an album when you're having to play on it too. But I just went back and overdubbed a lot of the stuff. But it is not easy to find musicians that can do that. And Steve had the very best of the Nashville Western swing players on his record. Doug Jernigan's the first one that comes to my mind. Whenever I started looking at steel guitar players, there's a lot of guys here who can do it on steel guitar. Tommy White's a great one, and there's a lot more. But Doug Jernigan really was kind of the king of that style and one of the pioneers. And so we brought him in, and wow, what a record, man. Steve, your record is phenomenal.
Did he play on Jamboree of Western Swing?
Yes, he did.
I've got that one queued up. How about we take a listen to that? And
then we want to talk to our younger guests and get their take on.
Absolutely. And speaking of younger guests, before we play this, we got to send a special shout out because we've got some visitors watching us tonight from Turkey, Texas. The old BAM music camp that we talked about here a few weeks ago is going on right now. And we got a hello from Allison Phillips, and we got some folks watching there at the camp tonight. So, hey to y'all, I hope you're having a great time.
You want to talk about music being in good hands. I mean, they've got people ranging from all ages up there, and you got Jack Phillips and some of those other, and of course Jack's pretty much he's a young guy himself. We were talking about Jack the other night with Snuffy Elmore and those guys, and they were talking about how Jack's just a phenomenal, prodigy. Everything he touches, he just masters almost, overnight. You played with Jack quite a bit, have you not, Mackenzie?
Unfortunately, no, I haven't yet. Yes, we've known each other since we were 13.
Yeah, we all love Jack, and we've been fortunate enough to have him sit in with us. And that's another thing. And these players, they love to sit in with each other, kind of like the old days with the jazz groups, in New York and Chicago and New Orleans, that one group would play and the other musicians would come, and then they would come and sit in with them. And late at night, they'd all jam together, Yep.
Well, working on the fly, I realized I got my dates mixed up here. That's not till June 15th to the 20th. Otherwise, these guys would be there.
We wouldn't be here.
Sorry.
Yeah, Jack kind of took the mantle from one of the things that Jack promised Bobby Flores, that he would take the reins of that thing and help further it along with the help of people like Mackenzie and some of the other folks. I'm trying to remember some of the other. Is Ridge Roberts, is he part of that deal or no?
He hasn't come before, but Jake Cooker's boys come, and Jake helps out a lot with it as well. And Jack's mom.
Cameron Baker, that dude's a good guitar.
We might have to send a film crew up there to film some of that.
Oh, it's so much fun. Yeah.
Well, I digress. But anyway, we talked about Doug Jernigan and Mr. Steve Marquardt here. We're going to play one here that I love this song because you encapsulate a lot of the history of Western swing right there in 3 minutes and 19 seconds here.
Watch
closely,
y'all, especially Jaden. You're not quite as familiar with this music as some of the others. Just watch closely because everything you see here.
Well, this one here is just audio. So.
Oh, it is. Okay.
I don't have any of the players on this one. I do have them though on. We've got queued up. I thought we had another one queued up of yours here. I thought we had Oklahoma queued up here, but we'll get to that. Anyway, here is Jamboree of Western Swing.
Well, let me make the point real quick. When you hear the music, when you hear the solos, the instrumentals, and there's quite there, and Western Swing allows the players to get out there and stretch their legs and have fun. Bob Wills was one of those that pointed. I remember that story about him pointing at Tiny Moore when Tiny Moore first came on as a mandolin player, and Bob pointed the fiddle bow at him that first time, and he kind of froze and played the melody. And later Bob said, "Look, when I point that fiddle bow at you, you play all you know." And so that's what I told those guys that first time when Kurt brought them in the studio. They were asking me, Doug Jernigan, who's like a god on steel guitar. He said, "What do you want me to play on this?" I said, "Just play what. I'm not going to tell you what to play. Are you kidding me?" And that's why one of the reasons these musicians love Western swing, because they get to just go out there and improvise and create and know. And every time they play the same song, they never do it the same way. That's it's just like improvisational jazz is really what it is. So.
There we go. Jamboree of Western Swing.
Last night I dreamed I died and went to heaven. They were favorite song. I saw at least 1,000 golden fiddles playing Western swing all night long. I dreamed I saw a band of angels singing songs to our Savior and our King. There were fiddles, there were harps, mandolins, and steel guitars. The only music there was Western swing. I even saw Bob Wills and Tommy Duncan. Watched them play and sing with angels' wings. What a way to worship God forever. A jamboree of good old Western swing. On the guitar, Leon McAuliffe playing on the steel. I looked for Milton Brown, he was nowhere to be found. I heard he was asleep at the wheel. I even saw Bob Wills and Tommy Duncan. Watched them play and sing with angels' wings. What a way to worship God forever. Jamboree of good old Western swing.
Wow. Now, were the horns a part of that from the beginning, or did that come later?
Actually, that came later when we recorded it. Steve said, "Hey, I'd like to have some horns. Bob Wills liked to use horns," and I said, "Well, I don't mind bringing in horns if you'll let me do it the way I want to do it." And so
Steve, I can't even imagine that song without horns.
Well, I remember sitting right on that couch behind you there, and you saying, what we need is Dixieland, little Dixieland.
And that's what I was thinking. Bob, he would use those horns just playing riffs with the guitar and steel guitar and fiddles. And I thought, no, man, let's turn it into New Orleans and make it jazz. And I think Steve's record is the first one that I've ever heard that has Western swing with jazz New Orleans horns in it. I think it's the first time that's ever been done.
Well, all I know is we had a lot of fun with it, and like it said in that intro of Mike's film, Western swing broke all the rules, and so that's the great thing. There really are no rules to an extent. I mean, you want to stay close to the core of Western swing, the core elements, but from there you can go in just about any direction. That's the beauty of it, right?
Well, and if you listen to the intro of the documentary, the first thing the woman says is, "It's not country, it's jazz." And that's exactly what I was thinking whenever I wanted to bring those horns in and have that New Orleans jazz in there. I just thought, this is going to fit. And I think Steve was a little taken back when he first heard that trumpet coming in there at the end of it. But man, to me, it just fits it. I love it.
That blows your doors off. And Mackenzie and Austin, you guys have dabbled in this music a bit. Tell us about studying this, because we talked about the BAM camp. You guys have been through that and had some touch points there. How does this music appeal to you, and how do you get it to appeal to this next generation?
Absolutely. Well, Western swing for me has played a huge part in my musical growth, especially playing the fiddle. I mean, if you're playing the fiddle, you don't know Western swing and Faded Love, you're in a lot of trouble. So, for us, me and Austin both growing up, Western swing has played a big part. We started out, mostly doing country, but really, like you said, Brent, the biggest exposure was when we went to the BAM music camp and I got to learn from Bobby Flores. I mean, that was the greatest experience of my life, to sit there and lesson with him and have him tell me this. And he was exactly explaining it, just like Kurt was saying. I mean, kind of like at the beginning of Mike's documentary there, like she said that Bob hated it when people called it hillbilly music, because even though as free as it is and there's so much improv, there is still some formality to it and certain motifs that get repeated. That, like the intro to Roly Poly, that still comes back. There's still big sections that have to be repeated, and so there's like the perfect mixture of just like this still formality and structure with freedom of jazz improvisation and people out there dancing. It's just it's fun. It's fun music to play, especially when you're a musician. And when I play fiddle, anytime I get to play Western swing, it's so much fun. I just feel like I really get to let loose, and that's really what appealed to me from the style at first, was because from the musician side, playing fiddle is how fun it was to play. And then I've also been out on the dance floor dancing to, and it's just as fun to dance to. And so it's a genre that is so fun all around. It's so much fun. It's a genre where people can come together and, really like be with one another and have fun. And it's a great genre, and I love it. I love it.
And then for me, I would say like country, you'd play just like 3 chords, basic 3-chord songs. And then you get to Western swing, and there's a different chord every other beat. You got passing chords coming up, and for me, that's ranged my guitar playing a lot, because I just use G, C, D, but now I can play diminished chords and sevenths and all that. And the BAM camp has helped that a lot, because the first few years I had Joe Settlemeyer, who played with the Playboys, as one of the instructors, and then last year was Cameron Baker, who plays with Billy Mata, and we got to going. So not only do you get to learn new chords and new styles, you learn jazz songs, and there's a little bit of country in there, and then there's a little in between, and that's Western swing. So,
well, you mentioned Joe Settlemeyer's. I got to spend a couple of hours at a table. He came and sat down next to me. I was pretty flattered, and wanted to talk about. He knew what we were doing at Clarksville Creative Sound, had been following some of our stuff, and but what an interesting guy, and what a great player he is, and he shared with me some of the stuff he'd done with Vince Gill and some of these other guys. And I've talked to him about coming to Clarksville Creative Sound and doing some recording.
Oh, yeah.
He and Kurt going back and forth on guitars, kind of like he and Vince Gill did.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
He's a wonderful player. Yeah, he's really good. He's one of my favorites, and he's taught me a lot. So.
Yeah.
Well, they just sent me this clip here and wanted to make sure that I get it in here. This is Austin testing out his Western swing chops on Sadie. We're going to share this for you now.
Ain't no love in my heart for you, baby. Ain't no love in my heart for you, girl. I just found my true love. She's an angel from above. No love in my heart for you, Sadie. Ain't no change in my pocket for you, baby. Ain't no change in my pocket for you, girl. You and your lawyer took my home. You took everything I own. No change in my pocket for you, Sadie. Johnny White on the steel guitar. Ryle on the guitar. Glenn Duncan on the fiddle. Dennis Wage on the keys. All together, boys. Ain't no tears in my eyes for you, baby. Ain't no tears in my eyes for you, girl. The day you left, it broke my heart. My whole world just fell apart. No tears in my eyes for you, Sadie. Ain't no malice in my heart for you, baby. Ain't no malice in my heart for you, girl. I'm telling you, I'm glad we're through. I still wish the best for you. No malice in my heart for you, Sadie.
Yes. And what the people didn't see off camera was Jaden Riley there bobbing her head to that. Jaden, what do you think of that?
It was good. I loved it.
There you go.
So who's your favorite Western swing band, Jaden?
Steve.
Yeah. Good answer.
Yeah, I would have thought she would have said something like "asleep at the wheel" or something. Awkward, huh?
Oh, I like those guys too.
Jill, that's Jill's nickname for my driving, asleep at the wheel. Here, Jaden. Here. No, Jaden. While we got you engaged here, really, do you see what we're talking about? I mean, I know you've heard this music before, but when you really zero in on it and think about it and listen to it, and you hear all the improvisation going on with the instrumentals, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool. So Wynton Marsalis put it this way for jazz, and it applies just as well to Western swing. These are musicians that are having negotiations between each other. They're talking to each other, and they play off it. And Mackenzie, you being and Austin, you guys being musicians, you know that when you're on stage, y'all are talking to each other through your music, are you not?
Absolutely, absolutely, and especially when I know for me, I had so much fun when I got to stand next to Del Morris Jr. up on stage on your band, Steve, and really get to see him and really see that. And I play, down in Texas a lot, play with lots of bands, and you can really feel the energy shift when, you and another musician, they play a lick and then you play a lick back, maybe use some of it and just have a conversation back and forth with one another. Then they play a lick and you play a lick and it just goes back and forth. And that's just really what makes this music so special. And especially like right there with Sadie, it's hard music to play. Like Kurt was saying, it's hard music to play. It's hard music to write. If you're trying to write it, I've tried multiple times and I've failed miserably. It's hard to write as well. You have to get the right beat. You have to have all the right ingredients mixed in. And especially like with that part, Glenn Duncan on the fiddle there, we want to play it with our band. And I've tried to replicate his solos and his licks and that, and it's very impressive. It's very impressive.
I want to say something about Glenn Duncan. Recently Glenn is a studio musician that I've worked with for many, many years, and he recently had a stroke, and he ended up in the hospital, and I don't know that he's going to play again. I'm not sure how Glenn's doing, but we just want to really take our hat off to Glenn Duncan and say what an amazing musician he is. And I hope he comes back better than before. And if anybody can do it, Glenn Duncan can definitely do it. What a great fiddle player.
Absolutely, yeah. Every time I listen to those parts, and like I said, I've tried to replicate it, and it's just so impressive. It's hard, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant music, truly.
Jaden, Jaden has probably had more success in the music industry than any artist I've ever seen that's not signed to a major label. And Jaden, what is it like, honestly, when you hear this music? What's going through your head? I know it's way different from anything you've ever heard or done, but how do you see it?
I mean, it's definitely different, just because like where I'm from, I don't really you don't really hear Western swing like in Toronto. So like definitely hearing it, it's definitely like a bit of like, it's like different. I like it because usually on the radio and you're driving, you hear like Taylor Swift, and it gets kind of boring after a while. So hearing a different genre like that is kind of like refreshing almost.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that's what all young people say. And we got to remember, Jaden grew up in Canada, so music is foreign to Canada. But the cool thing is when they hear it, they like it.
Yeah.
And this is if we can get this music out there to enough young people, they're going to gravitate to this, I believe.
Kurt, in Canada, it's not Western swing, it's Western swing. No.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Remember when I said you were my favorite Western swing?
Oh.
You remember that? Because I do.
Take your money back, Steve.
Well, in Texas, it's Western swing. No,
that's right.
No. So I think Jaden needs to be one of the first Canadian, certainly female artists to do a Western swing song. So we're going to challenge her. And
Jaden, I challenge you to do a Western swing song. I challenge you to do a duet too.
Well, you know who we've got on this show here. I see in the comments is Brian Moon. He may have done a Western swing song at some point.
Canadian, yeah, he has, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But it's a little bit of a stretch for Jaden, but not really. It's music and good music, and Jaden responds to all good music, I'm sure. But let's talk to. I know Braden, you've cut a few Western swing albums. I think when I first came along, maybe all that activity around my album, and you were kind of in and out of the studio, I sense that it kind of piqued your interest. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I originally Western swing is kind of off, the original genre that I'm used to doing, country music, the four chords and everything like that. But I mean, when I heard Western swing, especially like Milton Brown, I've always like, wow, I love this genre, and Dad was like, well, you should record something. And so he gave me some options, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I ended up cutting a couple Western swing songs and ended up falling in love with it. So, I mean, it's doing pretty good. So it definitely changed for sure. It definitely changed my mind.
And how about you, Evie?
It's definitely not the genre that I like gravitate towards, but every time I hear it, I'm like, it's impressive, honestly. Like the style of music is just very impressive. And I look forward to being down at the Western Swing Festival in November. And I want to try to write some too, Western Swing, and record some of my own songs too.
Yeah, well, I think all this whole group needs to make an appearance at the festival and really make a statement that and including you, Jaden, of course, we want to get you down there and have you take in that whole atmosphere. And I think it'll really, really be an eye-opening thing for you as well. Just everything that goes on in and around Fort Worth, and that weekend is a pretty big weekend for music. Because you've got all of that, then you've got the TCMAs on Sunday, and I think if we plan it right, the American Country Network is going to kind of be a part of a takeover of the whole stockyards down there.
Well, and I want to say something real quick. I have a track that I've not recorded on anyone. It's a special track of Faded Love, and I did it like Patsy Cline. And if anybody's ever heard Patsy Cline's version, I'm going to bring Jaden Riley in, and I'm going to put her vocal. Perform, Jaden, when you perform in Fort Worth at this festival, you're going to do that song, and you're going to bring the house down.
We need to zoom in on Evie's face right now.
Yeah. Now there's a hidden story behind what Steve just said, because of course we haven't talked about the TV show, but we have a TV show now. Clarksville Creative Sound has a new TV show. It's called Small Town Sound, and the cast of the TV show, of course, is Evie Mae, Braden Ryle, and Jaden Riley. And we're going to bring in Mackenzie and Austin on the show eventually. We're going to bring in Ariel. We got a lot of other artists that we're going to bring in. But the cast of the show is Evie, Braden, and Jaden. And so in the show, it's kind of funny. When you watch the pilot, you'll understand what Steve's saying about zooming in on Evie's face, because we had to create a little drama to make the show very cool and interesting. And I'm not going to give it away, but I will tell you there's a little friction between Jaden and Evie in the show.
Well, Jaden walks in there just cocky, you know.
She's a little cocky, and she's like, give it away. We just wait and let you guys watch it. But,
which is so really counter to Jaden's true personality, because she's just sweet as she can be.
Oh, yeah. Very sweet.
It's all about her. I'm just kidding, Jenny.
All right. I remember that.
These kids are fun to work with, guys, in the studio. But, honestly, we are going to do that version of Faded Love, Jaden. So the next time you're here, and you'll be here soon, because we got to film a lot of episodes for the TV show. And Steve and I have been working really hard on this show, coming up with ideas for episodes that we're going to do. And, I don't want to give away a whole lot of stuff, but I promise you're going to see some very famous people on this TV show very soon, besides the ones we already have.
Well, one of the objectives of this show is to not only entertain but to educate. So we want to pay homage, and we want to bring Western swing into this show in some form or fashion, and traditional country, and talk about some of the stars of the golden era of country music and of Western swing. So, we're hoping that in doing so, we'll bring new fans to that genre of music in that regard, in that manner as well. And that's the whole purpose of this show, is not just to bring notoriety to Clarksville Creative Sound, but to bring new fans into music genres that they might not otherwise gravitate towards.
Yep.
And, the cool thing about Western swing, too, and it's said in Mike's film, I think Vince Gill's the one, because he cut his teeth playing at places, these dance halls, and he said still to this day, one of the highlights of his whole career is playing at Kane's Ballroom. That's a bucket list thing. I'm sure it is. I could see Mackenzie and Austin, shaking their head. One of these days, maybe we can all play Kane's. That would be cool. But Vince said Kane's was the high point of his career. And
the only thing I think that could rival Kane's Ballroom would be the Longhorn Ballroom in Dallas. Dewey Groom actually Bob Wills owned that club at one time and sold it to Dewey. And I played there for six years as the band leader. And, but I never played Kane's Ballroom. And I got to say, I'm envious of Vince Gill for getting to do that. And I'm going to tell him that next time I see him.
The cool thing about Kane's is that, I was back in the green room when we were filming Billy Parker and some of those guys. And you go and you look and see all the people that have played there, and it's crazy, because I thought, okay, Bob Wills, I know that was his home base for years when he was putting his music out there through KVOO to the rest of the world. And I knew all of that, but I had no idea that there was such an eclectic group of people that played there. You look on the wall and you see Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Elvis Costello, Green Day, and I said, Green Day? And the manager of the hall was standing there with me. He goes, yeah. He goes, as a matter of fact, that was an interesting concert, because Billy, what's his name? Billy Joe
Parker.
Billy Parker? The leader of Green Day.
Armstrong.
Billy Joe Armstrong. Thank you.
Yeah.
He came in there and they watched them set up their stage, and Billy Joe Armstrong walks out. The last thing he puts on stage is a big picture of Bob Wills next to his amp.
Wow.
the manager said, "What is that?" And he goes, "Well, my mother is a huge Bob Wills fan. I grew up listening to this music, so I figured it wouldn't be right if I didn't bring Bob out here with me." Yeah. How cool is that? You know,
very cool. And you know what else? We're not going to speak to Jack Phillips anymore, guys, because he played Kane's Ballroom. And
yeah, I know.
Played there, and I've been around a lot longer than Jack, so I'm a little upset that Jack got to play there and I didn't. But
we
Jack,
haven't either.
Hats off to you, Jack. You're the best.
So Vince Gill said, to further my statement, Vince Gill said, "Look, when you're playing this music, he goes, you don't judge how people like you by the applause. You judge it by how many people are out on the dance floor. That tells you whether you're doing good or not." Yep. And that is the case, and because it's such an uplifting music. I'm looking at the comments here, and I have to say this. This is probably really a great thing to close with, but I'll go ahead and say it now just to make sure we get it in. Helen Stewart, who's become a new friend, and I want to get to know Helen better. She's been seems like a really good follower of ours, and vice versa. But she made a very astute comment. She goes, "Music always experiences revival during times of national stress."
Yeah.
And what a profound statement that is, and how apropos is it? You know, I mean, right now, there's a lot of, we won't get into politics, but there's a lot of national stress going on, international stress going on, because it's the smaller world than it used to be. So, but music always cuts through all of that, cuts through racial boundaries. It cuts through all of that, political boundaries, it cuts through all of that. And so that's one area where we can all come together.
Right.
And that's why Western Swing was so popular when it first came out, because, like the film said, the Great Depression had its grip on the nation. So.
Absolutely. Well, since we're going through the comments here, let's shout out a few more of these people, because we've got a full house. I see Mackenzie and Austin's mom is chiming in to say that their dad Byron has played Kane's Ballroom as well.
That's another one I'm not speaking to right there.
I didn't know that.
Dad.
He's in the living room.
You've learned something there. So
yeah, I didn't know that.
He was on there.
Maybe one day the rest of us can experience that.
Right.
I've enjoyed Brent playing this Western Swing music. Brent, have you got any more of that stuff?
I do. We've got a lot of it, and we'll get to that here in just a second, because we mentioned the cuts that you have on Braden, and I've got one of those I'm going to play in just a second here. But we talked about Brian Moon. Brian's on here tonight from Canada. We've got our friend Billy Bowles with Billy Bowles Swing Country, who has been a big driver for moving this music forward through his Swing and Country show. Billy's on here. Marlene Connors out of Canada as well. Drift McClure, Edmund Dalio on here. We've got so many people here.
Charlie McDonald, who his Jasmine has cut some great Western Swing songs, and we thought about having Jasmine on this show, but it's getting kind of crowded. So I think what we're going to do is because we haven't seen Jasmine in a while. She's been busy with some life transition things, which is great. She's gotten out of high school and she's in the working world now, and she's a professional young lady. But
you got to watch out when you say somebody's transitioning these days, Steve.
That's true. Have you ever said something and you wish you could just reach out and snatch it and pull it back in?
You got to watch out when you talk about that these days.
But we want to have. I think Jasmine deserves her own show, a whole episode, maybe in the near future.
Well, we've got her represented too. We got Oklahoma's Calling Me coming up a little bit later on, where you did a magnificent duet with her on that when she sang the harmonies on that.
Yeah. Well, Jasmine was in the studio just recently, by the way, and she's recorded some new stuff. So we got some new songs coming out on her. And Jasmine is also going to have her. We're going to put Jasmine on Fort Worth Musical Moments. Steve and I talked about this today. We're going to have a special show bringing in Jasmine McDonald, because a lot of people are asking about Jasmine. She hasn't been out there in the public eye in a while, so we're going to be introducing some of her new music.
Well, Kurt, I know one of the reasons why we haven't seen much of her, boyfriend. No, just kidding.
Well, she's got one of them too, and I know I got to talk to that boy, because he better be treating her right. So I guess
I imagine he is. I'm sure Charlie and Donna are keeping tabs on that.
I see we've got Kent Thompson on here. The great Shane McCauley is tuning in here. And
Shane was my drummer at the Longhorn Ballroom, Brent, for 6 years, and he's now Steve's drummer. So
yeah,
there you go.
A very good one. Also, my friend Marcia Campbell, the host of the great Ernest Tubb Midnight Jamboree, is checking in as well here. So thank you, Marcia, for joining us tonight here. Thank you to everybody joining us tonight. I see my mom's on here. Hello to you. Glad you're on here too. And we were talking about Braden's song here, Don't Wipe Your Feet. Tell us about this one.
So this one was a song that my dad and a buddy of his, Steve. Oh, Steve. Yep. Steve was also there, and they wrote this song for me. And it's kind of funny because when you listen to the words, it's don't wipe your feet on me. You know what I mean? It's like a floor mat and everything like that. And it's kind of funny when you listen to it, which you'll hear in a little bit. But I've always liked writing this, or I've always loved singing this song, and I just hope all of y'all enjoy it whenever y'all hear it.
I tell you where I got the idea. So that was a title flying around in my head. I just watched for about the 10,000th time one of my favorite all-time movies, which is Somewhere in Time, which is a romantic movie about time travel. And Jane Seymour, who I've had a crush on ever since that movie, there was her manager, the guy that played her manager was trying to control her. She finally looked at him. She goes, "Sir," she goes, "I am not a doormat. Do not attempt to wipe your feet on me." And I thought, boy, that would be a great song title. And so we were rolling that around. Kurt and I were in our heads, and then we came up with we translated that to Western swing. So go figure, from a proper British to Western swing.
Yeah. Well, Braden, the minute he heard it, he said, "I want to record that." And so we did. And Brent's about to play it, but real quick, I want to say hi to Clarksville Creative Sound artist CC Manuela.
Nice.
She's one of our Christian artists on the label, and CC's in here with us, and she and I are working on a song right now. CC, I got to get you back in and do the vocals on it. I want to turn it back over to you, Brent.
Here's an idea: Christian swing.
There you go. Hey,
Good awesome.
Hey, I'm all for that.
You know, Jesus taps his toes now.
Oh,
a joyful noise, man. That's absolutely right. Hey, we talked about the musicianship on this, and just a lot of the same players that were on a couple of these other cuts here. And this one does have the video with it. So yeah, keep an eye on the musicians here. Just
watch closely, Jaden. Watch closely.
Here we go.
You used to treat me like I was a king. You used to say I was your everything. Guess the new war off too soon. We're at the end of our honeymoon, and like the weather, you just up and change. From sunny skies to pouring rain, I'm not your doormat, so when you leave, don't wipe your feet on me. I don't know what's gotten into you. You forgot your wedding vows when you said I do. So you can treat me right, or you can go ahead and leave. I'm not your doormat. Don't wipe your feet on me. Wanna Vic on the fiddle. And Tommy White, steel guitar. I'd like to think we can work this out, 'cause I'm not ready yet to throw in the towel. If you wanna make a brand new start, keep your muddy shoes off my heart. If you think it's the end of the line, don't let the door hit you in the behind. I'm not your doormat, so if you leave, don't wipe your feet on me. I don't know what's gotten into you. You forgot your wedding vows when you said I do. So you can treat me right, or you can go ahead and leave. I'm not your doormat. Don't wipe your feet on me.
And that was Braden Rao wearing a vintage Bob Wills puka shell necklace.
Yeah, and a vintage wig too. Did you see that mop of hair I had? Lord have mercy.
No, but
Jaden was sending us some
Those
funny
horn-
videos.
I have something to confess.
Yes.
During that video, I was being really funny, and I recorded Braden like that song, and I put a great filter on it.
Wow, he looks attractive. That's my Mr. Fella right there. Look at Steve. Steve, you're not supposed to laugh at that, man. Come on. You're supposed to be on my side.
Hey, Jaden, what filter?
3 times.
What filter? He looks like Jaden to me. I mean, Braden.
Yeah. I mean,
You
Braden.
are no longer my favorite Western.
No, I got mixed up. I'm sorry. I'm old. Give me a break. I said Braden. I didn't mean Jaden. I said Braden.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on, wait for it. Wait for it.
That's hilarious.
Jaden, you're lucky you're in Canada. I'll tell you right now. You're lucky
He
you're in
would be
Canada.
kicking my butt right now if I was there. Actually, I would kick his.
See, this music just brings out the best in everybody.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
All right, there you go.
I should have had those horn guys sign a non-compete because Braden stole them from me. But no, that fit that song great. That was
I
perfect.
sure did. I did steal them from him. But the record sounded great, though, especially with those horn players, man. It sounded great.
You know, we got to get Mackenzie and Wanda Vick together sometime to play live. I'd love to get Wanda Vick down to Fort Worth to one of these gigs.
I
I'll
would
tell
love
you
that.
right now, I've worked with a lot of fiddle players. I don't think anybody can beat her. You know, she was a 5-time world champion fiddle player. That's a crazy thing. One of the greatest musicians I've ever known is Wanda Vick.
She's graced the stage of the Grand Ole Opry more than a few times, too.
Well, she played with the Gaithers. She played with the Porter Wagner all-girl band. I mean, this girl is an amazing session player. But she was also a 5-time world champion dobro player, mandolin player. I mean, you just go down the line. She was a great guitar player, great steel guitar player.
What I like about her too is her work ethic, Kurt. Because I've been in the studio, you know, when you got the musicians doing their thing and they run through the deal, and then you go around and you say, y'all want to fix anything? And Wanda keep coming back saying, you know, and Kurt, you say, well, I think we got it now. And Wanda say, no, Kurt, no, I need to do that over, you know, and she keeps going.
Yeah, I can't ever hear anything wrong with what she did. I mean, she's fixing stuff to me that's great, and I've got a great ear, but she hears stuff I don't hear. She's definitely a perfectionist.
Yeah, you definitely get your money's worth with her, so to speak. So.
Well,
But Jaden, look at her. She's got her mom. Oh, that's not Tara. I'm sorry. Sorry, Tara. I couldn't help myself.
This is Muffin.
That looks like a muffin.
He's nicer than you.
I know she is, honey. I'm just teasing.
It's a bullying law.
Okay, kids.
Well, we talked about Kane's Ballroom earlier here, and we've got the great home state of Oklahoma well represented tonight with Mackenzie and Austin here, and you know we talked.
I had to say that. I'm an Okie too.
Yeah,
That's right. The favorite son of Oklahoma, Kurt Ryle. I was getting there. That was a buildup, is what that was.
I wasn't going to take any chances, Brent. Believe me.
Along those lines, we talk about Wanda Vick and all the great musicians here. I want to share this one here. Oklahoma's Calling Me, another great one from Steve Marquardt. Steve, tell us about this one before we roll it.
Well, this was a song. So we were up in the Smoky Mountains. I hadn't known Kurt very long at all. You know, it's like it was the second time I'd been to Clarksville, and then we went in and recorded a Christmas song because when Kurt and I first started talking about me recording. I said, okay, let's see how we do on this song. And I sent him a Christmas song, and I'd written it the year before, but it was too late to get it recorded. So I said, let's do this. And you said, okay, well, I'll bring the musicians in. And so when you come in, all you got to do is lay the vocals down. And I'm like, okay. So I came in and I heard the musical tracks, and I was just like blown away. And so we recorded that Christmas song called Swingin' Santa Claus, which is destined to be a classic.
I almost pulled that one today just because it's such a good Western swing song.
Well, we may have to play that in November. But anyway, so then right after we did that, we went up in the Smoky Mountains, Kurt and I and John Castleberry, and that was, to me, just a historic and legendary time. because we got up in there in the mountains and we just had more fun writing these songs. And so at one point we took a break and I had Mike's video queued up on my computer and I said, y'all sit down and I want y'all to watch this film. So Kurt and John were good enough to sit down and watch that. And we talked a lot about, I think, Kurt, you were unaware of the story of Bob Wills having to leave Texas to go to Oklahoma. I mean, I know you knew he played in Oklahoma, but that whole story about him having to leave Texas because his former boss, everywhere he went in Texas, he would buy out their advertising and make them fire Bob. So he had to go to KVOO in Tulsa to make a living. So Jason Roberts said it's crazy that a Texas playboy has to go to Oklahoma to make a living. And so we started talking about Oklahoma maybe not getting the credit it deserves, that Texas gets the lion's share of the, because they call it Texas swing or whatever you want to call it. So we thought, well, let's write a song about Oklahoma. And that's kind of how this came about. But it morphed into kind of a love song.
And we talked about our friend Jasmine Sean McDonald. She's singing harmony in this one here. Great job by her. We'll roll it now. Oklahoma's Calling Me.
And I played a lot in Tennessee. They loved my songs in California, but Oklahoma's calling me. I met Montgomery, but I knew her love could never be. My Cherokee maiden waits in Tulsa. Yeah, Oklahoma's calling me. Take me back to Tulsa. Half of my heart waits there for me. My shoes keep walking back to you, dear. Oklahoma's calling me. Twin fiddles playing, it floods my mind with memories of you as you whispered that you loved me. Oklahoma's calling me. Take me back to Tulsa. Half of my heart waits there for me. My shoes keep walking back to you, dear. Oklahoma
Now you'll go to bed tonight with that one stuck in your head. You're welcome.
You know what? Jasmine sure makes Steve look ugly, doesn't she? I'm sorry, Steve.
I'm telling you, it was all I could do to not come across as creepy. I mean, what do you do? I'm standing there. I'm 61 years old at that point, and I got this beautiful girl standing next to me, and I'm trying not to get too close to her, but we have to move into the microphone. She's probably thinking, does this guy brush his teeth? What the hell? But, it was just, I was in, as my high school football coach would say when he met my wife, boy, you outkicked your coverage.
That's pretty good.
But Jasmine, what a great talent. And man, she just nailed those harmonies. She's one of the best harmony singers out there. I mean, she's a great singer, period.
Phenomenal.
And a good musician too. Very good.
We've got David Lannon checking in saying, I didn't know there was a genre called Western swing until recently, and I love it. Well, first of all, thank you for checking in, David. And second of all, stick with us, man, because we're going to get you up to speed and then some here as we continue to push forward with it.
And David, spread the word. Everybody spread the word about this music, and let's get more of it out here. That's why I wanted to bring all of you young folks in, because I want to obviously invite every one of y'all to come and take the stage with us in November for sure at the Western Swing Festival. We'll be doing a series of concerts in National Hall in Fort Worth, which we're trying to make National Hall another Cain's Ballroom. We're getting there with this new sound system and all of that. So, but certainly at the festival, we want to make a big showing that and make a statement that Western Swing is alive and well and in really good hands for the future. And so we want to make a true statement, and that includes you, Jay. We want you to come down and perform with us as well. And I mean, it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, Steve, go ahead, Jaden.
Oh, I was just saying, yay. Sorry.
That's all right. I was going to say, Steve, we showed that clip early on, and when you talk about the festival, last year at the festival, of course, Jody Nix played, and he had the distinction of being on Bob Wills' last album for the last time, and we've got a clip of him playing one of the great songs on that album. He was 21 years old when he performed it, and I tell you what, I didn't do the math. I don't know how old he is today, and I'm thinking on the fly here, but he doesn't sound all that much different today. He had a mature voice at 21, and man, this is a great song. When you leave Amarillo, turn out the lights. Great Cindy Walker too.
And let me tell you a little backstory, and it's all in the film. But if you listen closely, Bob Wills is famous for the holler, that high voice, and but he had a stroke or a series of strokes, and so they brought Bob into the studio, and he was in a wheelchair, and he was having a hard time articulating at all. But Bob couldn't help but call out when the music moved him, which that happened frequently. So even in his impaired state, he called out, and you'll hear it in this song. It's more of a growl than it is but it's just to me, it's an awesome thing because he's like, and at the very end, you certainly hear him mimic what Jody sings. He calls it out too. And the night that was recorded, later that night, he had a stroke, which ended up killing him a few days later. So.
Great song here. This is the live version here from last November at the Cowtown Birthplace of Western Swing Festival.
Written by Cindy Walker, one called When You Leave Amarillo, Turn Out the Lights. You say that you're leaving, and I can't say it takes me by surprise. But hearing you say it, girl, just knocks the tears out of my eyes. And I don't know what to do, but I'll try to do it right. When you leave Amarillo, turn out the lights. When you walk out the stage, for me it's over. When you leave life will be empty as we settle on some windswept place. Empty tomorrow, woman, girl, give me tonight. When you leave Amarillo, turn out the light. When you walk out to stay, for me it's over anyway. When you leave Amarillo, turn out the lights. When you leave Amarillo, turn out the lights. Cut out. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Jody adds that at the end there, and our friend Billy Bowles throws in there, cut out the lights.
Yeah, that's what and
Last 40 words.
I thought you were going to play that version. I apologize for confusing everybody, but yeah, the very end of that recorded version for the last time, Bob, you hear Bob go, cut out the lights. It was just, it's a crazy.
There's another song on that album that I always thought would be one I'd love to hear you cover, and that's Going Away Party.
I love that song.
That's such a great song, man. So I'm putting it out here in the universe for you tonight, man. You need to cut that song.
Well, you never know. You never know. But I want to see these youngsters cut some more Western swing songs. I want to see Jaden get in the fray and do one or two Western swing songs as well.
Yes. Evie, we need to get Evie on it.
Yeah, we're not trying to change their styles. We just want the world to see that these kids, and I think these kids want to do it. I think that's the cool thing. They like it, so we're excited about putting it out there. I mean, it's fun music.
Good news is we can write too. We don't, we can create new material, and I think that's just very important as well to further this along and evolve it even further. Again, that's the beauty of this music when it first came out, is it was evolving. It was picking up all these different influences, and it was like a sponge. And so, why not take it further and evolve it even more? Give it some new nuances or whatever, and certainly some new voices. We've certainly got some powerhouse voices here, so let's take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Well, Steve, we've got a little business to take care of here when you talk about youngsters, because we've got a special birthday celebration coming up on Saturday in Texas. Our friend Miss Lucy Dean Record is going to turn 100 years old and have a big celebration. And of course, she was at the Cowtown Birthplace of Western Swing Festival back in November and had a chance to join a couple of the acts. She played with Steve's band. We shared that a couple of weeks ago when she played Sweet Georgia Brown. We got a clip here of her joining Robert Houston's band, Western Swing Rules, on the opening night of it here. So I wanted to share that with folks here as we get ready for the 100th birthday celebration of Lucy Dean Record.
I want to point this out. Miss Lucy Dean has been teaching piano in the Texas Panhandle for how many years, Miss Lucy? 74 years. And this coming May, and this coming June 1st, everybody, listen to this. Miss Lucy is going to turn 100 years of age. And we're having a party, aren't we? Where are we going to do this? June 1st. I know. Unity Center in Floyd County, Texas. In Floyd County, Texas, up in the Panhandle. We're at the Unity Center there in the county, a big barn up there. We're going to do a birthday party for Miss Lucy turning 100. So y'all come, all right? Here's Miss Lucy Dean Record leading my band on an old tune called Old Lady Be Good. It's Lucy Dean record, everybody.
And as I'm looking at the comments here, I see Allison Phillips says Jasmine, Sean McDonald, and Jack Phillips also have birthdays this weekend. And Austin has a birthday coming up on Wednesday. I'm sorry, we make a bigger fuss about you all. We'll come back and do that when you turn 100.
Right.
In the meantime, happy birthday to Lucy Dean. I see Billy Bowles saying he RSVP'd like a week ago, and they already had over 400 RSVP to that thing. So it's going to be a tremendous celebration here. I know you're going, Steve.
Yeah, Jill and I are heading up there. We got some friends in Plainview we're going to stay with, and we're going to head over there and partake in the festivities. You know, it's funny. I ran into Lucy Dean in Mineral Wells at the Cowtown Society of Western Swing awards thing, and she grabbed me. I walked by and she grabbed me, and I like, "Oh, Lucy Dean! I didn't realize you were here." And she remembered meeting my wife. She remembered. She said, "How's Jill? I know Jill lived in Plainview for a few years. She taught school. I mean, she remembered all of that." And and it's just amazing. And the cool thing is, you watch her play. She does that thing that Al Strickland used to do. She's playing all this intricate stuff, yet she's looking around. Just amazing. She's just. I told her, I said, when I grow up, I want to be like you.
Yeah.
Well, Lucy is one of the great piano players. And Jaden, I have to say this, Jaden, you have to leave because you got homework to do. Just talk to your dad, so you'll do your homework, honey.
Sorry.
Jaden,
Love you.
Jaden, before you go, say something to everyone about how much you love Western Swing and how you look forward to seeing everybody in Fort Worth at the festival.
I look forward to seeing everybody at the festival, and I love Western Swing, and I also love what I did with this video. Hold on. Dang it. That would have been really funny if I actually worked.
Very anticlimactic there, but nice try. Thank you for playing.
Do your homework. Do your homework.
Oh, that would have been really funny, but now it's not funny anymore.
Now it's not funny anymore.
Now it's funny again.
It's not funny anymore. Go do your homework, Jaden.
I love you, Brayden. Don't be mad at me. He's going to send me a paragraph of how he hates me later.
Yep.
Jaden,
Just kidding.
Jaden, we love you, and go do your homework.
I will. It's English homework.
Make good grades, eat your vegetables.
I won't.
And
Thanks for
Jaden,
having
we'll
me.
be performing at the festival, and we'll have a great song for you to do.
I'm so excited. Thank you.
So we want you to spread the word to all your millions of fans to meet you in Fort Worth in November. So
Thank you so much for having me.
we're glad you could make it.
Love you. Bye.
Yeah, budget.
Love you.
Love you
Lord,
too.
everybody.
Thank Tara and Colin too. Tell him hello.
I will.
Right.
To go away, you have to.
You're supposed to click leave. You gotta click the leave
Shut up. I'm trying. Bye.
We'll make it easy for her. There we go. We'll help her out there. Well, Steve, you were talking about the festival here. We'd be remiss if we closed this thing out and didn't talk about it a little bit. 3 big days coming up here, November 7th, 8th, and 9th here, just about 5 months away. So coming up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it is. And what a stellar lineup Mike has. 3 days, 14 bands. He's got a band on Thursday, November 7th, among Dave Alexander, which is a new to the festival, and what a powerhouse band he's got. I mean, these guys are full of energy. If you can go on YouTube and find some of their videos. And then Mary Lee and Caesar's Cowboys, a real interesting act out of Italy.
Yes.
In Western Swing. They kind of remind me of Postmodern Jukebox, if you know who that is.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. And, of course, Robert Houston is our good friend and fellow historian. He and Mike are kind of rival each other, historians of Western Swing. Huge, major contributor to the film. And then Jake and Tommy Hooker. And then you got the Stockyards tour and all of that kind of stuff on Friday. And then Mary Lee and Caesar's Cowboys are going to play down in Stockyards as well. We're going to have a little reception down there at Second Rodeo. And then we take the stage at 5:30, and then Jody Nix finishes the night off. And then Saturday night, of course, you got a Bessie Smith blues tribute, which if people are wondering why we're doing Bessie Smith tribute, if you know who she is, she was an old blues singer from back in the 20s. But if you think about how Western Swing started, Milton Brown was performing in a Bessie Smith song when Bob Wills met him at that party in Fort Worth, and Bob Wills was blown away by his soulful vocals, and they got together and started playing music together with Milton singing and Bob playing, and that was the birth of Western swing. But it took Milton Brown doing this soulful blues, and what Milton was doing was emulating the blues from people like Bessie Smith and the jazz that he was hearing from people like Louis Armstrong and those guys who were hot back then. And so a Bessie Smith tribute it's only natural that since this is about the birth and history of Western swing, that you would bring a major driver and inspiration, one of the elements that inspired Bob and Milton to create this music. And then you got the Western Flyers. They're a fabulous band. You got, I think, Ridge Roberts and those guys in there, and Billy Mata. Of course, we all love Billy. He's one of the true crooners of Western swing. And then Bob Wills, Texas Playboys. Doesn't get much better than that with Katie Shore on fiddle. Mackenzie, you know Katie, I'm sure. And then Junior Brown, he's become a good friend of ours. Junior was the one that reached out to me, and I've shared this with Kurt when I put my album out. This is Swing Country, and Junior got a copy of it, and he reached out to me and said, or love what you're doing, keep doing it. We need more stuff like this, new material. And he goes, and thank you for mentioning Jesus. And I said, well, I don't think I used the word Jesus, but I did talk about our Savior. And he goes, well, that's what I'm talking about. Don't be afraid to put that out there too. And I said, oh, I will never be afraid to do that. So Junior Brown, I was very flattered that he took the time to send me that note, and of course he paid tribute to and complimented Kurt, because he said, man, whoever's producing your stuff is top notch. I said, well, that's Kurt. And so we're looking forward to spending more time with Junior. I know, Brent, you and I got to spend a little time with Junior in the trailer out back, and you did a great interview with he and Barry Corbin.
Man, phenomenal. Those were great experiences. Both great guys, and both bring something special to the genre from different aspects. Of course, Barry, not necessarily a singer, but that whole just component of stage and screen, so important.
Yeah, the whole cowboy persona.
Been a great ambassador for Western swing. And every time you see him, he's got a Bob Wills hat or T-shirt on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Well, I love it, man. I'm bummed that I won't be able to be there for Lucy Dean's celebration this weekend. We got a lot going on, but I got to make sure that I send my birthday shout outs. Happy birthday, Miss Lucy Dean. Just so excited for you here, and hopefully we'll catch her in November here at the festival. Such a great proponent of this music still, and loves to get out and be around it.
I understand they asked you, Mackenzie, to be a part of the band at that deal, and you.
Yes, I was asked to play fiddle in the band. Unfortunately, it's when I'm going to be in Miss Oklahoma. Otherwise, I would have 100% been there. Miss Lucy has played a great part in both of us as well. Me and Austin both first met Miss Lucy and a lot of other musicians up on that stage in that video. Robert Houston, Bob Baker at the Western Swing Music Society of the Southwest convention. So for those of you out there watching this video, if you're looking for ways to go listen to Western Swing and to get involved, there's organizations out there to go dance, to listen to Western Swing. I mean, like Kurt said, you really couldn't play it unless you grew up doing it. And we grew up going to the conventions where they have Western Swing jams, just playing off the musicians, watching the musicians, and actually playing the music. And it was musicians like Lucy and Robert and Bob that, allowed us the opportunities to play and gave us the opportunity. So even young musicians out there, if you're interested in playing Western Swing Music Society of the Southwest gave us both scholarships and Jack scholarships to go to band camp to be able to learn how to play this genre. So there's opportunities out there, and Western Swing is alive and well. I'm going to be playing with Brady Honeycutt on June 13th at the Snyder Swing Fest in Snyder, Texas. So it's alive and well, and we need people to still support it and come out to the shows and, listen to the music. Like you were saying, Steve, putting out new Western Swing music as well, still keeping the core of Western Swing, but you have to put the new music out there too. So there's just so many great opportunities, and I love this genre, and we're very blessed to have, grown up with the opportunities we had to play it.
Well, there are still tickets available for the November festival at birthplaceofwesternswing.com. You see it going across the bottom of the screen there. You can get tickets. They're going fast, though, so make sure you jump on them now. Get them in your pocket so you got them when November rolls around, because they're going to become pretty scarce here, as it gets closer to time.
Yeah, it is. It is. My brother is always nervous about ticket sales, but he never fails to sell out with a waiting list to boot. But what I told Mike, and I said, we hope that a lot of these at this juncture we can get a lot of younger folks to come to this festival, because once they come, they're hooked and they enjoy it and they look forward to it. And we've heard that so many times. Young and I'm not sure how old some of the folks are that are chiming in here, but like the gentleman said, I didn't even realize there was a genre called Western Swing, but now I do, and I love it. So that's what we want to hear more of that.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, before we get out of here tonight, what else is going on here? What do we need to make note of here before we're together again?
I'm not really sure. I mean, there's a lot going on here in Fort Worth. We're working on some. We'll have some show dates pretty soon about and start doing some regular concerts at National Hall like we've been talking about. It's just we've had taken a while to pull everything together here, but fear not, we will be staging regular shows leading up into and after the festival in November. The festival is kind of the high point there with all the people coming in. But as far as Clarksville Creative Sound is concerned, Kurt's always busy. You're always recording new music, and we're working on the TV show as well. And like you were saying, Kurt, you got Braden and Evie and Jaden kind of as the core of this pilot and the early series, and we're going to pull Mackenzie and Austin and everybody else in. At some point, everybody will get a shot. Everybody will get their time on camera. I don't think they're going to let me on camera.
Well, Kurt, you've got Evie in town there now. How are you getting anything done?
Well, she's a nuisance sometimes, but I put up with it. But actually, we're recording tomorrow, Brent. Tomorrow morning we got a recording session, and I am going to be recording and maybe I shouldn't say this, but we got a brand new Austin and Braden finally have some competition. We got a new young male artist, 17 years old,
nice,
that's coming in to record a song or two, and it's actually Noah Snyder.
Oh, there we go.
Sang the theme song to our TV show. And am I giving away too much here, Steve?
No, I don't think so.
I think we've talked about it on the show before, so we're good.
I think it's interesting. He's going to come in and he's going to do a song that was recorded probably 100 years ago. This is a 17-year-old kid who sings like Bob Seger, if you can imagine that. And he's doing a song by Leadbelly. You guys remember that?
Yes.
And it's called In the Pines. So I'm really looking forward to this because he's got a great style and it's very interesting. And we're happy to have Noah as part of our team here at Clarksville Creative Sound.
Well, and how we realized nobody knew Noah could sing, and we actually captured that on camera, and it's going to be part of one of our episodes. How Noah came in the studio, was hanging out. He got to be friends with Braden and Evie and Jaden during the filming. He was kind of acting as they call it, best boy, schlepping camera equipment around and following Josh, the producer, around. And in fact, at one point, Josh said, "Get out of the way, get in the closet so we can get this shot." And so y'all started calling him Closet Boy, and he took it in good humor. And then a day or so later, as the story goes, he and Braden were sitting there. Braden was strumming the guitar, and all of a sudden you heard this voice. You're like, "Where have you been?"
Yeah, he started singing, and I'm like, "Who the heck is that kid?" And so I asked him. I said, "Hey, have you how long have you been singing?" He said, "I've never sang before. My dad's never even heard me sing." And so I put him on the theme song to the show and sent it to his dad and said, "What do you think of this kid?" And he had no idea who it was because he had never heard his own son sing. And so he goes, "Well, I love that. I really like that voice, man. Let's use that." And so that's how it all came to be. And we ended up bringing him onto the label.
So, Evie, have you got any new music planned anytime soon? I mean, you're still getting, you're just now getting traction on your new album, which is just, there's not there is not even a mediocre song. I mean, every song on there is hit potential. I never get tired of listening to that. It's in my car all the time. But first of all, welcome to Clarksville. You're living in Clarksville now, but tell us what you've got going.
Yeah, My Kind of Red just came out, so you can stream that anywhere. And I don't have a whole lot of shows right now because with the whole move and everything. So we're gonna get more here, more shows here once we get all settled and everything. But I want to start writing some more. Like I've already started on some new songs, but start writing and get back into the studio for sure.
And Evie's dad is a very good musician. In fact, he played with her in Fort Worth last time Evie performed there, and he plays bass. So he and I are going to put together a band for these two right here to perform in this area, and we're working on that right now.
If you can find a place that does not allow smoking, I'm in.
Yeah, that's the bad thing. Most of these clubs, the smoking is just a little too stiff, but we're working on it.
And Braden, I guess you always got stuff going on. Of course, you just graduated from high school, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We're proud of you.
Austin did too. In fact, I saw Austin and Braden's gowns were almost identical in color.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
What a handsome fellow! What a handsome fellow right there.
Yeah.
He wouldn't keep the cap on.
I like it.
Yeah. Saw Braden throw his.
I think. Look. There's no doubt about it. Put that picture back on. Mackenzie stole that photograph. Look at that.
She stole the thunder. Look at
I
her.
was like, Mackenzie just all eyes are on her.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna, at the risk of sounding creepy, leg.
That's the Miss Oklahoma pose stance. It's drilled into my brain. I can't. That's how we have to stand.
I was kind of
there you go.
It is.
That's where the stance comes from.
It is. Now you have to play fiddle in that stance all the time.
Oh, no, I break it for that part. But anytime we have to take a picture, we have to stand like that, and so it's drilled into my brain, and I can't stop.
But what a photo stealer! You know, there's Austin's big moment. Graduating, and Mackenzie walks in and
yeah, Austin, I'm not taking that. I'm not.
I know, right? What the heck? She's always trying to do that.
I know. I got a brother that tries to steal the scene too in a different way, not with his legs.
Well, he walked across the stage. When he walked across the stage,
that picture with his leg out there like that.
Yeah. Did Byron have his leg out?
Yeah, he did.
I wasn't paying attention to Byron.
So Evie, you're going into your senior year, and you'll be going.
Oh, there you go.
You'll be going, that's great. Oh, look at Tracy too.
I told her to do it.
Yeah, Byron's kind of a.
I don't know what he's doing.
He's trying to pump out his chest. He's trying to look big.
He looks like he's just trying to get out of the picture.
And Austin just saying, let's just get this thing over with.
Let's get
I took so many pictures. I swear I took like 500 pictures that night.
Well, and I thought it was cool, Braden, that you and Evie accompanied each other to each other's proms. That was neat and great pictures. Y'all looked like y'all were the power couple.
Yeah, she looked all right. You know. No, I'm just kidding.
Someone had to look
I'm
good.
just kidding.
Boy, let me tell you something. You definitely outkicked your coverage.
Nice.
And you ain't never met that kind of red either.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, how are you settling into Clarksville? How's it feeling so far?
Well, I've been here for 3 days.
Yeah.
And so far, I have went out job searching.
Nice.
I have cleaned my truck inside and out.
Nice.
And that's it.
And that's about it. Yeah.
3 days worth of stuff right there.
3 days. Yeah.
Well, that truck could take a week to clean it.
Yeah, dude, this is the cleanest my truck has ever been. It's like spotless, shining inside and out.
Ethel thanks you.
It looks like Noah's Ark. I mean, that thing is huge.
Yes. Yeah.
She's got to have a couple of yellow page books to sit on.
Yeah, you can't see over the steering wheel.
Well, gosh, this has been maybe the longest show in the history of Fort Worth Musical Moment.
It's right up there. Right up there.
I don't know if our viewers are enjoying it, but I'm sure I am enjoying.
We still have a lot hanging out with us. I guess they don't have anything better to do tonight either. Well, we're glad they're hanging out with us, man. We're having a lot of fun here. Glad we got so many folks on here, so many passionate about this stuff. It's a good sign.
Yeah.
Well, and Jeff McClure, he knows about Lead Belly because he's talking about Lead Belly to the Louvin Brothers to Nirvana. Nirvana actually did a remake of the song we're recording tomorrow.
Yeah.
Called In the Pines. So, Drift, you're a historian here. I can see.
Yeah, we gotta meet Drift. I just the fact that he's got one of the coolest names out there. But he's been a good follower of ours, and we appreciate that.
I think he's a singer.
Yeah, I know he is, and so we want to hear more. We got to have Drift, maybe have him on the show and just find out what the heck this guy's all about.
That's right. Well, I think we've got a show here. We need to just welcome on some of the people who have been so loyal to us here and just kind of pick their brains a little bit about what they like and what they're looking for, and just kind of turn the camera around on them a little bit. I think that'd be fun.
I think we've also got looks like we got Ariel out there, Ariel friends watching. So
yep, Ariel is one that you guys be watching for. I don't know if you guys have seen her video, I Will Remember You.
Right.
But man, what a stellar performance she did in that. And Ariel, what a great little singer. She's only 13 years old. And Steve and I saw her sing at the zoo. And it was during the Josie Awards last year. And she was just out there with her guitar just singing. And I stood there and listened to her. And I'm like, man, that kid can sing. And one thing led to another, and we ended up getting her in the studio and recording her, and she's a part of our team now.
Yeah, that's right. She's a powerhouse singer for sure.
Good stuff. And Steve, you've been practicing this week and had Kurt with you here in Texas doing a little bit of wood shedding.
No, actually, Kurt tried to get to Texas, but the weather wouldn't cooperate, and so he finally had to give up on getting a flight out. I said,
missed that part of it.
So Kurt got to spend at least a better part of a day at the airport, which everybody,
it cost me $30 to park, and then I had to spend 3 hours in the airport walking around trying to find where the flight was. I got on the plane, and then they said, well, we can't take off for 2 hours. And I just got off. I said, well, Steve, I'm not going to make that rehearsal. So that's how that
Guys,
is.
someone sounds angry.
Yeah, I'd say I just ripped off a scab there, didn't I? Sorry about that.
I'm a little angry right
now. I'm just poking Steve a little bit there. He tried to get me down there, and I tried. We just couldn't make it work.
Well, how's the band sounding these days?
Well, we're getting there.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. What I'm trying to do is find a foundational group that we can just stick with. And these guys all play together every Sunday. And so we've got a good rehearsal spot there up in Gainesville that we are already set up, so it's a lot handier than having to rent a rehearsal hall. And but again, learning 15 original songs that nobody's heard is a bit of a challenge. But we're getting there. I think one more rehearsal and we'll be ready to hit the stage. So I'm encouraged. I'm excited, really. I can't wait. This is what I've been trying to do. It's, as you guys know, of course, y'all, Evie and Austin and Mackenzie both are lucky to have the family kind of revolving around them, but it's like herding cats to keep the band together, especially the guys of this caliber, because, a lot of these guys go where the money is, and they're hard to nail down. But these guys are kind of slowed down, but they've taken this project on, and they're loving it. What I was saying earlier is they love this music, and a lot of them have forgotten how much they love this music, and it's really challenging them, and they're rising to the occasion.
So you can visit i2irecords.com to support Steve Marquardt so he can buy the best band money can buy and keep them. So.
Yeah, go fund me or something. I don't know.
Make sure you hang on to them.
No, you just hang on. And when we start announcing show dates, get out there and buy tickets, because one of the reasons why I want to do this is to have these young stars to come in on a regular basis and grace the hall, the stage of National Hall and other places as well. But National Hall is going to kind of be what Kane's Ballroom was to Bob Wills. We wanted it to be kind of our home base, just because we love the aura, the feel there. sound system is really great. We're proud of that. We helped put that in. And so we want to, and the food's good, the parking's great, everything about it is great. It's very RV friendly if you're inclined to do that. And so we want to make that a home base and do regular shows and who knows what we'll be doing. And I think the TV show is going to help too, bring new people into these live shows as well as we gain more notoriety through that.
Absolutely. Well, I hope people will keep checking in with Fort Worth Musical Moments. We'll keep you up to date as we start to shore up those dates. And I think Kurt has kept Evie and Braden calm as long as he can here. I can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, they're getting out of hand, Brent.
Called me a creep.
Well, Teresa, she was like scratching my leg thinking it was hers.
I was poking his leg and then he hit me.
Well, I want each of y'all, Braden and Evie, and then Mackenzie and Austin, and we'll probably take excerpts of this and cut it out and use it in video shorts or whatever. But I want, first of all, Braden and Evie, talk about how much you love Western Swing and how you're looking forward to seeing everybody in Fort Worth at the festival, the Western Swing Festival in November. So you're on.
Oh, ladies first.
I'll go first. I am very excited for the Western Swing Festival in November, and I cannot wait because I love Western Swing music, and I am excited to further my career down that path, even though it is not my number one. But I'm excited to explore it even more. Thank you.
Is it my turn? Oh, howdy, y'all. I just want to say thank you for listening to all of our lovely artists on the label. We love Western Swing. It's a great music, and you should really take a listen to it. I think all of y'all will enjoy it, and we love it so much, and we're looking forward to seeing y'all in November and for all the concerts up ahead. So can't wait to see y'all.
All right. McKeddies.
All right. I love Western Swing. Hope to see y'all in November out on the dance floor, dancing to some good old swing music. And I love the rhythm, the chunks, and I hope I get to write some more. And I think we're going down there in June, right? To record some stuff, right?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe write some stuff and get some new Western Swings hopefully in there. And on to you, Kenzie.
Okay. Good job, Bob. I love Western Swing. It's one of my most beloved genres that I love to play. Not only do I love to sing it, I love to play it on my fiddle. And it's a very special genre to my heart for so many reasons. And please come to November to the show, because I can tell you, being up on stage without people out there dancing or a good crowd, hooping and hollering, it's just not as fun. So come on out and enjoy the music. It's danceable music. Get out there and dance your heart away and continue to support all the artists on Clarksville Creative Sound and all their music. And we just thank you guys so much for all your support. And Austin, we both got some shows coming up. I know we'll be opening for Diamond Rio in July. And so we hope to, for you all to, come out to as many shows that all of the artists have. Everyone's out there playing and staying busy and lots of exciting things. So be sure to keep listening to Western Swing.
And good luck to you, Mackenzie, next week here in the Miss Oklahoma contest. We hope you bring it home.
Thank you. I'm very, very excited. I leave on Sunday, and it's been a hectic week packing, but I'm really, really excited. And yes, I'm really excited, and hopefully I can talk about Western Swing while I'm there.
I'm so excited.
I'm sure I will, because it's in Tulsa, so it might come up.
Nothing better to do on my birthday than sit through a pageant.
Yes.
Well, let's give a clap for Austin, guys.
He does have to come watch on his birthday.
Austin, if you sneak away for me, go visit the Bob Dylan museum over there.
Oh, yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I just couldn't believe when my mom told me on my birthday we have to go down there. And
I feel you, Austin. I feel you. We're there. We're there.
Well, Mackenzie, is there a way to follow that pageant as it's going on? Is there some kind of feed can we follow you? Will you be doing regular posts, social media posts, or they even let you do that?
Wow, Mackenzie, that's a nice smile you got there.
It froze on us.
I think it froze. I thought she was like just trying to be funny. But actually, the picture froze.
Wow.
I think we've been on here too long, guys.
The face of your future Miss Oklahoma right there.
She's such a pretty girl.
Awesome.
I really believe she's going to win that thing. I really
There you
do.
go.
She's back.
Are they back?
Ish.
They got some definitely.
They're buffering. You're buffering.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Now you're swirling. Okay.
We were so close to
I
the
didn't
finish
notice.
line.
Maybe that's StreamYard's way of saying we've been doing this too long.
Yeah. We were so close. Oh, man. Well, it's been a great show, and I thank everybody who's joined us here as we wait on the McKettys. We appreciate it, and we hope you'll stay tuned to the Fort Worth Musical Moments Facebook group, the Clarksville Creative Sound Facebook group, and the Rural Strong Media Facebook page. So you will be apprised of all the coming dates of these shows here. We will be wrangling up some new guests here and having some fun shows and talking about Western swing and traditional country music, and who knows what else we'll get into.
That's right. That's right. And Brent, real quickly, talk about Rural Strong Media and all the things you've got going on. You've had some pretty notable people on some interviews. Barbara Fairchild, Bobby Marquez, some great guests. So there's a lot of cool stuff you got going.
Yeah, we've enjoyed having them on here talking about their careers. Of course, Barbara Fairchild's got a new album out there, All My Cloudy Days Are Gone, which was produced by Don Williams, which is the only album he ever produced on another artist. And that thing sat on the shelf for nearly 40 years before they were able to wrestle control of that and get it put out. It's phenomenal. And Don Williams actually sings harmony on some of those songs, and they are gems. So if you get a chance to go out and find that, they're all on YouTube, or you can go download them and pay a few bucks and have them in your archives here. And you won't be sorry about that. And then next week, I'll be headed to Nashville for Country with Heart, the benefit that the great Bobby Marquez puts together to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. What a lineup he's got for that. We talk about Barbara Fairchild. She's there as well as Leroy Parnell, Charlie McCoy. Man, what a harmonica player that dude is. Crystal Gale, Exile, John Conley, Wood Newton, Jonathan Bond, Jason Coleman, who is the grandson of the great Floyd Kramer, Brady Seals, who I know Braden's a big Dan Seals fan. That's his cousin. He's going to be in the house too. So that's going to be next Saturday, June 8th at the Nashville Nightlife Dinner Theater there in Music Valley. Tickets are available for that. Now you can go to eventbrite.com and search Country with Heart and get tickets for that. And I'll be there interviewing all the artists as they come off stage. We got a little green room there that we'll do some interviews and put those out on social media so you can hear from some of those artists. And sure, a great cause. They've got a great auction that they're going to have a lot of cool music memorabilia, a lot of autograph stuff, and some really cool memorabilia there to bid on, and all that money goes to St. Jude's. So man, what a great cause, and really looking forward to being down there to support that. Rural Strong Radio will be the official radio partner of that again this year, and really looking forward to it.
Great. Well, I hope you can get some of those folks to maybe come on Fort Worth Musical Moments. Crystal Gale, who didn't have a crush on her in her heyday? I mean, one of my favorite singers of all time in the country genre, and of course all those other folks. Leroy Parnell is a cousin of a really good friend of mine, and so cool stuff you're doing there, Brent.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll use my best puppy dog eyes and see if we can't convince them to get on here onto the show, man, and see what we can get accomplished.
All right, sounds good.
So looking forward to that again. We got the McKenzie's waiting backstage. We'll throw them on here, Mackenzie and Austin.
But we don't know what happened. We got kicked out.
Oh, man. Well, we're glad you're back here. Steve was asking if there was any way to be able to stream or follow the progress of the Miss Oklahoma pageant as it plays out.
Yes, so it will be live streamed. So if anyone wants to go to my Facebook page, Mackenzie McKetty Music, I will post the live stream link for everyone who wants to go and watch the live stream. So that is the only way to be able to keep up with the progress, is to do the live stream. But I'll be posting as well on the progress and what everything's doing and how that's going. There's also currently a link still up on my Facebook page as well called Miss Oklahoma's People's Choice. So anyone can go out there and vote with unlimited votes to vote for whichever delegate they want. It's $1 per vote, and that goes into the scholarship fund to give all the candidates, the delegates, the scholarship money. And the delegate with the most votes advances to the finals as the 11th finalist. So I would really appreciate it if anyone wants to go out there and check that out and help me at least secure a spot in the top 11. The scholarships just continue to increase, and that would be very, very, amazing. And I'm very just excited to just even have this opportunity.
That would be amazing. So make sure you go support her. Get that done. Mackenzie McKetty music page on Facebook. Go follow it and help push her across the finish line on that. Evie May, go out and get a job.
I'm trying.
Spotlight's on her.
I'm trying. Braden has a spotlight for eyes.
And Braden, God bless you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're doing good.
All right, we better shut this thing down. I think
before Facebook shuts us down or somebody.
Yeah, Billy Bowles wishes Mackenzie best wishes, as does I'm sure everyone, and we'll be rooting for her for sure. And like I said, whether she wins or not, she's Miss Oklahoma in our eyes. So
well, hopefully we'll have her on our TV show too. If she, especially if she comes with this thing as a winner, we're going to definitely put that on the show. And
that's right.
So
well, I think we're going to be capturing. Tracy has got, a professional grade camera, and we've got some other folks that are probably going to be there capturing the behind the scenes thing. And I think it's intriguing to watch what goes on there. So I think in some form or fashion that will fit well into our TV show, which is kind of a reality format anyway. And so that's the cool thing about our show. We got so much going on that we don't need to dig very far for episode ideas. There's, in fact, you and I were just in a 15-minute conversation, had pretty much come up with ideas enough for a whole season.
Yeah, that's right. That's awesome. Well, I tell you what, nobody's going to need to take their melatonin tonight. I think we've done a good job of winding everybody down for the night, and we thank you for watching, and we'll be back again with another episode of Fort Worth Musical Moments. So for the remaining Kurt Ryle, Evie May, and Braden Ryle, and Steve Markward, it's Brent Adams. Happy birthday, Lucy Dean Record. Good luck to Mackenzie McKetty, and we'll see you on down the road for another Fort Worth Musical Moments.
Thank y'all.
Yes, good night, everybody. You've been watching Fort Worth Musical Moments, a production of Rural Strong Media and Clarksville Creative Sound, copyright 2023. Please join the Fort Worth Musical Moments Facebook group and join us each Friday at 10 a.m. Central as we introduce you to another key figure in Fort Worth's musical heritage.